Hey everyone, how you doing? Got Zach Gilday, meteorologist Dan Scoff here, and hey, we're joined by another weather team member, burning the midnight oil for you, Josh Rugger,
Quite
live
literally.
from his casa,
Yes. Live from the game room right now.
the game room.
Yes. And I'm with Harper as well. She's come to join a little bit. So
Hey Harper, I want to
yes.
see. I didn't get a good look at Harper.
Oh, hold on. Let me get the front facing camera here real quick.
All right,
She's gonna show off her new haircut that she got today. There
we
you
should
go.
have sound. I think everybody's got sound. You might want to turn it up, Belinda, a little bit. We don't have the wrong microphone. Harper, let me see your face.
Harper, can you look at Dan? Can you say hi to Dan? She's like, give me butt scratches right now.
Yeah.
She's like the
I'm
queen
tired.
of the house.
Oh, there she is.
There she
She's
is.
like, I'm tired of this weather pattern.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
She is.
All right. Well, let's not waste any time. We already did, but hey, we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about the severe weather risk. A lot of people are, hopping on here, maybe about to go to bed here tonight. Boy, it was hot and humid today, and that hot and humid weather, you know what that's going to do? That's going to lead to some thunderstorms. So we've got some storms that are going to be rolling in here in about, I would say about 6 hours, a little over 6 hours from now. So you got, or 4 or 5, about 5 hours from now. So severe thunderstorm watch has been issued for Southwest Missouri. Hopefully you didn't get the notification if you don't live in Southwest Missouri, but let's get right to it. We'll take a look at everything, and we're going to bring this up full. Josh, you can still talk away whenever you want, but let's go ahead and look at the latest severe weather risk. So we've got a level 3 out of 5 severe weather risk. Now you notice that's a little north of our area. And so what that means is the bulk of the severe weather, the bulk of the extreme severe weather will be north of us. Should be. Yeah, should be. However, at the same time, we do have that potential for thunderstorms moving in. As you can see, the severe weather risk is a level 2 and a level 1, and we'll get to the timing here in just a bit. Not much of a change from the new risk, which was just updated a few minutes ago. Damaging winds over 70 miles per hour is very likely in that hatched area. Now, that is mainly where the thunderstorms initially develop. We're going to go through all this. We're going to track it. We're going to let you know when it's headed in. But, man, was it a scorcher today. And here's what I don't like. All the heat, all the humidity with a combined front moving in, and you've got jet stream energy, you've got thunderstorm potential.
Yeah, definitely, Dan. But as they travel south, they should be on a weakening trend, right?
That's what we're hoping
They
for.
should
We're
be.
hoping for.
It sure is. It sure is humid. I was just outside, and I haven't felt that humidity like this in a long time.
Yeah, this is Houston-esque humidity. Yeah. This is Gulf Coast weather-like. So let's take a look here. There's the tornado risk. And Josh, you and I were looking at this, but there's going to be a brief window of opportunity in Southwest Missouri around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning in that Barry McDonald County area that we really need to watch. And so let me zoom in on that again, and you get to see exactly who that clips. And I think the risk is going to be lower as it drops south, and that's because Zach was mentioning how the storms are going to be on a weakening trend, but it's still something that we definitely have to watch for sure. So there's that tornado threat. And now here's a look at the satellite radar. Well, we have thunderstorms that are erupting just north of us. Those are tracking east, southeast. But what we're going to be watching, additional thunderstorms that pop up in southeast Kansas. Those are the ones that we're going to have to watch. Now, there's a little uncertainty as to how much activity we're going to see. Josh, I know you were looking at the models this morning. What was their kind of their consistency on all that?
It was pretty consistent this morning among the models, I would say. Definitely a lot different than what we saw last week. We talk about it all the time. When they're wishy-washy, typically that's when we start lowering those rain chances. One thing I noticed this morning, too, looking out the window, and we talked about it as well, and you noticed this, Dan, that ridge of high pressure a little bit farther east, it's guiding those storms towards our area. Unlike last week, I think these are going to make it in overnight tonight to tomorrow. And
yeah, I mean, it sure looks like it.
Yep.
The pattern's more favorable. Now, I will say this. The pattern's even more favorable farther north in Southwest Missouri and north central Arkansas. But we do get clipped. I think we got some storms. So if you're just jumping on, Jamie, you're good because you haven't missed anything. All we've talked about is Harper and the kind of the risk stuff and the threats and stuff like that. But I do want to let you know that here's the timing. We're going to break this all down for you. First of all, there's that severe thunderstorm watch. That does include Southwest Missouri. That goes until 3 a.m. So that gives you an idea on the timing that the severe thunderstorm watch goes all the way down to the Arkansas-Missouri border, and that ends at 3 a.m. That's the southern extent of the watch that ends at 3 a.m. So what's going to happen later on? Thunderstorms are going to be moving in, and that's where we're going to get to the timing right now. Now, keep in mind, just a computer model. Computer models aren't the best. They don't have an exact handle on what's everything. Everything's going to happen. However, I think the HRRR has been pretty consistent on this storm. Maybe a little bit farther east on the latest update, but let's check it out and show you what we're talking about. Okay, Josh, everybody else that's watching, here we go. This is our severe weather threat. There's the future track. There's the thunderstorms blowing up to the north. Now, if we look at out the window, what the HRRR is showing, thunderstorms in east central Kansas and western Missouri. Guess what? That is right smack dab on the money.
Perfect.
Storms.
Yep.
And the reason that I think they're more on the money is because there's more energy. There's more support. There's more of a focus for thunderstorms. It's not just these little subtle pieces of energy that are very difficult to discern. There's actually a big picture for thunderstorm activity. So,
yeah, nothing subtle about this one. That's for sure.
Say that again, Josh.
Nothing subtle about this piece of energy moving in.
No, and we're going to look at that too. But here we go. We move along in time. There's the thunderstorms popping up. Now, those storms initially are going to miss northwest Arkansas because those are going to travel east-southeast, and those will move into north-central Arkansas. What we're watching is additional thunderstorm development, and that's right around the 4 or 5 o'clock time frame. Now, this, again, like I said, is just maybe a little bit farther east. However, Carroll County, Madison County, you can look at this, but don't say this is exactly what's going to happen because the model doesn't handle it perfectly. If it does all the time, that would make our jobs a lot easier.
Sure would.
Sure would.
But this is not exactly what's set in stone, but you can see the trend with thunderstorms rolling in. Now, that's a little later, too. That timing, I think, is just a little too late, in my opinion, looking at everything. With the severe thunderstorm watch going all the way to 3 a.m., I doubt we wait 4 hours for any other additional storms to develop. But when they do, and you'll notice parts of northwest Arkansas doesn't see as much rain. So that's one model. We'll look at them all, but there's a look at the latest that updates every hour. Okay, and then we'll go back and we'll look at the 18s, or this is the 0Z HRRR, which updates every 6 hours. And you're probably going to see a little more thunderstorm activity. And I think this is more on the money, about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. So we're talking early morning thunderstorms rolling through till about sunrise, and then it'll be moving out. Well, Josh is going to be on KNWA today starting at 5 a.m., and he'll be in the weather lab even sooner than that. So we'll be tracking, we'll be watching these storms. If we go back to the exact timing, what we have with this system, here we go. So I'm going to bring this up full so you can see. We went 70%. Now, I think the rain chances, Zach and I, we were looking at this. I think they're pretty decent. They really are. Now, that doesn't mean widespread everywhere, and that doesn't mean heavy rain everywhere. But I think there are going to be some thunderstorms that roll in. Now, another thing, too, is that what do you think about the morning commute tomorrow, 7 a.m.?
Yeah, I think that time of day might be a bit dicey. You got those storms rolling in. Again, they should be on a weakening trend, but the latest models do show 7 a.m. look like a pretty active time. And here on that map, 7 a.m., like 60% or 40%. So on the commute to work tomorrow, definitely could be dealing with some heavy rain, winds.
Do you think it pushes out by then or no?
I think it's going to be moving through portions of maybe like Madison County.
So I think Benton
areas.
County, it'll be out of Benton County.
I think Benton County should be good.
So here's another model. This is the graph model, and we'll take a look at this. So we're going to zoom in here as the thunderstorms roll in. I'm going to have to delete some of these pause points and these keyframes. So let's zoom in here on this, and we're going to take a look. Early. Yeah, this is a lot earlier, but at the same time, it's already showing thunderstorms in southeast Kansas.
It is.
It's not happening.
That is not happening yet, is it, Josh?
It's not happening at all.
Nope.
Come on, graph. Usually the graph underdoes it too, which is wild.
Yeah, and we'll see, but that's a little too early to me.
That is. Yeah. It's too
Noon,
quick.
no way. That
Yeah.
doesn't happen yet.
Yeah.
But it gives you an idea. Don't necessarily look at the exact timing. It gives you an idea of the thunderstorm potential. So
You know what, Dan? You made a interesting point earlier. What are those PWatt values that are going on right now?
oh my
Southwest
goodness.
Missouri,
So
because they're
just
really
to give you an
high.
idea, and we can look at that, by the way, too. So precipitable water is a measure of how much, basically how much rain a thunderstorm can produce if it just absolutely downpours. Of a thunderstorm, you take all that column of water in the atmosphere, which typically a thunderstorm does go from the surface all the way up to the top of the troposphere. That is how much moisture can be squeezed out. We are looking at quite a bit, and we're going to look at the mesoanalysis here in just a second as I bring it up. But precipitable waters, from what I saw, are going to be over 2. Now, I'm going to look at it right now. And yes, they are very high. So let me bring this up for you. Josh, stand by.
Yeah, and this we're not going to have a system like Southern Arkansas saw earlier on this morning, but very similar PWatt values. That's for sure, which tells you
So
that we've got a lot of moisture in the atmosphere.
PWatt is essentially the abbreviation for precipitable water. So 2.1 inches. That is how much the atmosphere could rain out in the column, and sometimes that also gives you kind of an indication on maybe the hourly rainfall rates too. To be honest with you, if we look at precipitable water with moisture transport, you can see that we're surging that moisture in from the south. If we look at the 925 millibar transport, all of the ingredients show some extremely heavy rain, along with here is the reason why these storms are going to turn southeast. So this is known as the upward propagation vector. So exactly what's going to be the complex of storms moving east and then eventually turning southeast. Now we're already seeing, by the way, beginning stages of this. And you'll see this here in just a second as we look at megadoppler. These thunderstorms are kind of tracking to the east southeast. So that's going to be something that we have to check out and that we have to watch. But definitely some thunderstorm activity that's to the north. We look at megadoppler again. We're going to have to bring that up full real quick. We'll just bring that up full. There's megadoppler full. And then look at how the thunderstorms are starting to drop southeast.
Already.
So another thing that we can look at is we're going to look at the jet stream. So I'm going to bring up this mesoanalysis, and we're going to look at essentially the upper air, and we're looking at the 300 millibars. See how that jet stream is flowing northwest to southeast. How do you know this? Well, the wind barbs, basically, when you're reading meteorology and you're learning how to read these wind barbs, they point in the direction the wind is coming from. So the wind is coming from this direction and then turning southeast. But Zach brought up a good point. The storms are going to tend to weaken. Look at how there's less of these lines, that meaning the winds are going to be weaker. So that's going to essentially start to weaken some of the thunderstorms. There's a lot of instability. There's the supercell composite, which is a lot higher to the north. If we look at the significant tornado parameter, the models were showing it kind of building up over Oklahoma and then spreading northeast. And watch, I think it's going to do that. So there's the tornado potential, and then you'll see that kind of spreading northeast. Now, the reason that spreads northeast is because of the low-level jet. The low-level jet will be increasing tonight. Mm-hmm. If we look at this, there's the moisture transport, and then you look, and there's the strength of the low-level jet increasing, along with the low-level veering. So all that is going to combine for the potential for some extremely heavy rain and thunderstorm activity. Another thing we can look at is downdraft Cape. We don't have as much over our area, so that means the storms are going to tend to weaken a little bit. And if we look at some other stuff here, we will look at the bulk wind shear. And so see how the bulk wind shear is a lot stronger farther north. We're 50, 55 values, and then the storms tend to weaken as they drop south. And that's exactly why when we go back to this severe weather risk, which we're going to do here in just a second, we'll go right back to the severe weather risk. Mm-hmm. And there's a look at, let's look at the outlook. The risk drops off when you go farther south. So that's the meteorology behind it and why it does that.
Yeah.
Josh, anything you want to point out? I'm going to have to go here pretty soon because I got a 9:00 newscast. I know Anna wants to kind of read a little bit of her scripts. We'll maybe answer some questions that are on here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, as Zach was mentioning earlier, that might be our one saving grace is that we don't have as much. You saw in that, jet stream map we were looking at a moment ago, that main upper level support is off to our north right now, which may prevent these thunderstorms from being as strong as they're moving through our area. But we've got a tremendous amount of instability. I know we were looking at those models earlier, those soundings, 80 degrees with 70 dew points. That's a lot of fuel for storms. These are going to be producing heavy rainfall, and it's going to be quite the light show, too, early tomorrow morning. That is for sure.
Yeah, that's one of the things. You can see the lightning tie. And I got the big lightning tie on.
Giga lightning.
These are the giga lightning. These are the big bolts. 1.21 gigawatts.
Yeah.
That's from Back to the Future reference.
Back to the Future.
Okay. Great Scott. Anyway. So Zach, anything that you put together the forecast? You were looking at a bunch of stuff. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, we're not done yet. We have these storms tonight.
Yeah.
We'll see some more storms tomorrow during the afternoon, evening, and then again Thursday night, and then again Friday night.
Yeah.
So not quite yet done with these storms.
And I'm going to show you why it's so active. So let's get to that, and I'll and then we'll kind of close it out. But here's a look at the future track model. So again, we showed you the storms moving through tonight. But what we didn't show you was what happens tomorrow. More energy, more instability, more thunderstorms, maybe even borderline supercells.
Yeah, very close. They've definitely got properties on that map.
They kind of look like supercells.
They do.
Zach is grumbling over here. I
Yeah.
don't blame him.
Gonna have to watch that.
Yep,
Fun
we
times.
sure are.
Ugh.
We'll take that off.
All gas, no brakes, boys.
So then watch what happens overnight Thursday into Friday.
Yeah, this right here, this piece of energy that's coming through Thursday night and Friday has my eye the most right now. That could bring some really heavy rain to our area.
For sure. That's
Yeah.
going to be something that we really need to watch. And then what about the Foreigner concert? Little too early to say. I personally think if we get all those storms Friday morning, there won't be any storms Friday evening.
Yeah,
Despite what the graph showed. The graph showed storms all over the place Friday.
the graph did? The
Yeah.
graph did? Wow.
We're talking about the graph, man.
We're talking about the graph?
Not the HRRR, the graph.
The graph.
We're talking about the graph, man.
A little Allen Iverson right there.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, let's take a look here, and I'll show you that real fast. Let's see if it still does. What do you think? All
I
right.
bet it takes it out.
So here we go with the graph. Watch what happens. There's Friday afternoon. Oh, okay, it took them out.
It
But
took
it
it
did
out.
have them. It had them all over the place. You can't
I
see it.
think more than likely it's going to be dry Friday evening. I'm leaning towards that right now. Obviously, it's too early.
Yeah, there's Friday morning, and then Friday evening, I think the storms are going to die out. So let's do a quick lightning round for 5 minutes because I got 5 minutes to spare. But here's what we're going to do. Quick lightning round. We're just going to answer a bunch of the comments. And Josh, you and I are going to fire off on this. All right, here we go. Ready?
All right.
Newton County. Yes, Newton County
Yeah.
is under the gun for rain and thunderstorms. The only reason you're not seeing a severe thunderstorm watch now is because I think it's too early. But I do think a severe thunderstorm watch is a good possibility. So we're going to see how that works. Hail. Yeah, I think there's hail potential, but I think the wind threat is going to be greater just because the
sporadic.
shear is a little weaker.
Yeah, more
So that's
sporadic,
that.
isolated large hail possible.
Could we see a severe thunderstorm watch? There's not going to be an upgrade to the slight for Washington County. This is the last risk that we'll see before it moves out. Ryan says, go help her move that desk.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
I'm
I
sorry.
think yeah.
By yourself? I'm so sorry. I didn't see that. I'm a terrible host of the studio.
Ryan Vaughn
Yeah.
keeping you in check.
Ryan Vaughn from
In the chat.
Jonesboro.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness.
So tornado chances in Northwest Arkansas, not great, but not zero.
Very low, but still there.
Yeah. as if 7 a.m. traffic this morning was bad. How about the traffic on Dixon? We can't even get to work. There's so much construction going on.
Right, and they're putting trash cans in our, putting it in the way of the back roads that we use to actually get in too, to block it off.
Yeah, I know. I heard that. I heard about that too.
Yeah.
The formerly known as the Powerhouse restaurant blocking off traffic to get into our work. It's joining the TTU WRF club. Worst takes of the day. Oh, there you go. I haven't seen the Texas Tech WRF. 2 to 3 inches of rain expected. It depends on the thunderstorms, but I think 1 to 2 because I think they move through pretty quick.
I think that's a good bet.
Yeah, but there could be some spots that pick up over 2. Tornado chances are not high. Thora saying hello from Scranton.
Yeah.
You kept them safe on June 17th for sure. Do I need to take the canopy down? I would. In Witter, that's in southern Washington County, I definitely would.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll issue a watch for Benton County? Yes.
Yes.
I think it's going to wake you up. Is this looking like a night to set up alarms to stay up, watch weather for tornado spin-ups or anything? So here's the deal. We'll let you know about it because we're going to be watching it. But I will say that with it so hot and so humid and a front coming in, that could be a little bit of an issue. David, they may just phase out. They absolutely may. There's always that possibility.
That always is a possibility.
It's never a set in stone.
Nope.
Zach is not a Dr. Emmett Brown fan. Zach, are you? Have you ever? That's Ryan Vaughn again. He's just messing with you.
Oh,
But have you ever seen Back to the Future?
I've seen parts of it.
Okay, then that's not it. Then
Busted.
not for you. That tie. All right.
Yeah.
We're almost getting there. We're almost caught up. I know it's farther out, but what about Saturday's Snoop concert? So I think Saturday is going to be okay because storms roll in Saturday night. Again, why is this weather pattern so active? Let me answer that real quick and go through that real fast. Here is a look at the reason for that. So we have the ridge of high pressure that's off to the southwest of us. There's the active weather zone, also known as kind of like the ring of fire, which is the northern periphery of this ridge of high pressure. So there's the water vapor, and we can actually see this piece of energy that's moving in, and it's located right now over northeastern Colorado, and it's dropping southeast. So that's what's starting to fire off those thunderstorms, and look at how that's not going anywhere. You can see the clockwise flow from the high pressure system. If we look at the jet stream here, that's where the ridge of high pressure is settled. Now it nudges east just a little bit, and then what that does is that allows that northwest flow to make it even closer into our area with a little piece of energy. So just a little subtle more energy can fire off those thunderstorms. Then we get a dip in the energy for Saturday, late morning into the afternoon. High pressure starts shifting back to the west. And when that happens, now we've got the ridge of high pressure building back in.
Yes.
If it's a Medicare call, is it? Okay, answer it. If it's a Medicare call, I'm going to scream.
Yes, he is working.
It's not a Medicare call.
Not. Yes. Celebrate good times.
Yeah.
Get the confetti.
We get so many of those. Hey, real quick, we got to end this here because we're getting caught up. But Friday's system looks very bumpy. It sure does. Let me bring this up full. Scan that QR code for the latest information. Of course, you're on your app, but just go to NWA Weather Authority or your weather authority on the QR code, and then you can get right to our app. It's on the Google Play App Store. And some drizzle in the hizzle for shizzle for Ryan Vaughn with the Snoopcast.
Snoopcast?
Yeah, now, are you in southern Washington County, you said?
Ring of Fire. Best Johnny Cash song.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, so
hey, look at this.
Tonight, like,
if you got to know, it's Northwest Flow. Robert saying that. Okay, why does it usually storm overnight when we're in Northwest Flow? Great question. Reason for that is the storms develop to our northwest in the daytime, and then they eventually make it here during the night.
Of course. Right on the nose of that jet stream energy, too, off the ridge of high pressure. Yeah. And that's the difference, like you said, from last week to this week is last week that ridge was a little farther west, so the jet stream energy lined up with the river valley. This week, it lines up with northwest Arkansas.
Oh, we forgot to mention that Fayetteville isn't going to see a drop. We forgot to mention that.
We
No
did.
rain in Fayetteville because of the
Yep.
Kobe effect.
Whamp, whamp, whamp.
Tom, I don't think it affects the Foreigner concert because I think the storms are going to be in the morning. And then there might be some storms in Southwest Missouri that evening, but I don't think they move in until late that night. Cross our fingers, keep the timing. Crawford County is going to be a little bit farther south. All right, I've got 3.5 minutes to get ready for the show. For everybody watching, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, we'll do another update as we get more data coming in. So after the 10, it's going to be a long haul. We're going to be here for a while. Josh, you need to get to bed. It's past your
Yeah,
bedtime.
I'm already half asleep right now. You can see it in my eyes. That's why Harper
right.
was coming up here. She's like, "Why aren't you in bed yet, Dad?"
Well, we got you covered. So thanks for watching, Ryan. Appreciate you as always. You do amazing things in Jonesboro and really across the country. You have much farther reach than I do. So we will see you guys later. You're out.